we have our example with related rates or time rates. We have water is flowing into a conical reservoir 20 feet deep and 10 feet across the top at the rate of 15 cubic feet per minute. Find how fast the surface is rising when the water is 8 feet deep. So again, when we solve this problem, of course, we have to draw a we have to draw a diagram based on the given data. So we have here conical reservoir. So this is a cone. So we have our cone, inverted cone. Okay, so suppose this is our cone. Okay, this is our cone. And then, of course, conical reservoir 20 feet deep. So we have here 20 feet deep. So our height now is 20 feet. Okay, that is 20 feet. And then 10 feet across the top. So 10 feet. 10 feet across the top. So this is now 10 feet across the top. So 10 feet and then 20 feet at the rate of 15 cubic feet per minute. So water is flowing. So you have here a water that is flowing. We have here, let's say I will change another color for a water. So we have here a water that is flowing into this conical reservoir, which is equivalent to cubic feet per minute. So dV, that will be our dV over dt. Cubic feet, that is volume. So dV per minute, that is per dt. Okay, so that is 15 cubic feet per minute. Okay, find how fast the surface is rising if the water is 8 feet deep. So if, let's say, this is our height, okay, which is equivalent to 50 feet. If h is equivalent to 8 feet, okay, find dH over dt. We're going to find dH over dt. Find how fast the surface is rising. Okay, so if this is the case, this is the level of water. Okay, so this one now is, let's say, this is 8. So this is 8. And then we do not have a value here, so we will write here r as radius. If height is 8, what will be each r? Okay, take note of this triangle. We have here, okay, I will write here a triangle because we will make this one in our solution. If this is 10 divided by 2, that is 5. And then this one, height is 20. Okay, so this is our given. And then if height is 8, so what if the height is 8? So we have here 8 for this part. Okay, okay. Oh, what if dito yung level? So this one. So that is 8 and then this one is r. So we make use of r later on. So by ratio and proportion of this triangle, we have here 20 over 5. That is, we make use of ratio and proportion, that is 20 over 5. This triangle, big triangle, that is 20 over 5 equals 8 over r, equals 8 over r. Therefore, we can find the value of r here, which is equivalent to r equals 5 times 8 over 20. By cross multiplication, r will be multiplied by 20, and then 20 will become your denominator of 8. And then 5 times 8. So 5 times 8, 40 divided by 20, then our equivalent value or our value of r, that is 40 over 20, which is equivalent to 2. That is the case if the height is 8, then our radius is equal to 2. Okay. Now, going back to our problem, we're going to find how fast dh over dt. So since we have here a given volume, so we have to find the volume of a cone. So the volume of a cone, that is 1/3 pi, okay, 1/3 pi r squared times height. Okay. Take notes, in a cylinder, that is pi r squared times height, the volume. But this is a cone, so a cone is 1/3 times pi r squared times height. Okay. This time, we will substitute the value of our r from this part. Okay. We will substitute the value of our r later. Okay, later only. So for this time, later we will substitute the value of r. But this time, we will make a relationship between r and h. So again, going back to this right triangle, if h equals 8, then r equals 2. So again, going back to this triangle, we make use of h and r relationship so that we can substitute here our r because we want to find dh over dt. So going back to this one, using h instead of 8, okay, so we will have here 20 over 5. 20 over 5 is equal 20 over 5 equals h over r. Okay, h over r. So that r is equivalent to 5h over 20. 5h over 20 or h over 4. Okay, if h equals 8, 8 divided by 4, that is 2. So we have here r equals h over 4. This time, we will substitute the value of r as h over 4 from this equation. So we have v equals 1/3 pi. Instead of writing r, we make use of h over 4 raised to 2 times h. So this will become 4 times 3, that is 12. V equals 16 pi over 3. This is h squared over 4 times 4, 16 times h. So that is equivalent to V equals 3 times 16, that is 48. So 5 over 48 h cubed. This time, we take the derivative with respect to time. So dv over dt equals pi over 48 derivative of h cubed that is equivalent to 3h squared dh over dt. H cubed equals 3h squared dh over dt. So we have 3 and then 48. So dv over dt, which is equivalent to 348. 48 is equivalent to 16 times 3. But for this case, you have here 3, so we cancel 3, that becomes 16. Or in other words, if you reduce the lowest term, 3 over 48, that is 1 over 16. So we have here pi over 16 times h squared dh over dt. But h squared, when h is equal to 8, so when h is equal to 8, I will write here, when h is equal to 8, and then dv over dt is equivalent to 15, So I will substitute this value to our equation. That becomes 15 is equivalent to pi over 16 times h squared dh over dt. dh over dt. So this is squared. I will erase this one, and then I will write it squared. Okay, so multiplying here, 16 times 15 over 8 times 8, 64 times pi, that is equivalent to dh over dt. Using calculator, this is equivalent to 1.19 dh over dt. So height is in terms of feet, and then time is in terms of minutes. So we have here feet per minute. This is now our dh over dt. This is how fast the surface is rising. So dh over dt, which is equivalent to 1.19 feet per minute.